Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Tuesday, June 16th regular board meeting. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and those of you who can stand, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes, board, I just let you guys know the invocation will be presented by Pastor Chris Todd of Oxbow Church. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you. Let's bow in prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for this beautiful community you've given us. Lord, we are so thankful to be able to be here tonight. And Lord, we just pray for wisdom that comes from above, Lord, because decisions that are made, they affect not just our lives, our homes, our businesses, but Lord, every aspect of everything that we do. So Lord, we do seek to you to guide, to protect. Lord, I thank you for these, our elected officials who have sacrificed much to lead us. Lord, I pray for our police. I pray for our fire. Lord, I just pray that you just continue to keep them safe. Lord, bless their families in their absence as they're serving us. And Lord, thank you for the privilege to live in this wonderful community. So Lord, let everything be done tonight that would give you honor. I ask this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Kowal.
Here.
Treasurer Roman.
Here.
Clerk Noble here. Trustee Ruggles.
Here.
Trustee Anderson.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Voorhees.
Present.
Looking for a motion to approve the agenda with one small change. We're going to swap the 9A and B.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda with swapping 9A and B.
No, approval of the agenda.
Approval of the agenda.
Okay, thank you. I have motion from Mr. Noble, support from Mr. Ruggles. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next item is public comment. If you have anything to say that is not on the agenda, okay, at this time, you have 3 minutes. You have to identify yourself for the recorder. Any takers at this time?
I will. I don't want to go first to someone else. So. That's not fair, the committee we have at the county.
You made it
It's
to the
not fair.
floor first. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so, hi, County Commissioner Christine Long. I'm just here to catch up, see what's going on in White Lake tonight. And couple issues, I think we're going to put in a special meeting. The Charles Wright Museum wants a millage put on for Oakland County, and I think it would be in November. So, I don't know if that will get on the ballot or not. So that's one issue. And then we're going to start working on the budget, probably, I think in mid-July, starting on the budget for next year. But as always, just if anyone in here or you guys have anything, call, text me anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else at this time? Seeing none, moving on. Looking for a motion for the consent agenda.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Support.
I have a motion to approve by Mr. Roman. I have support by Mr. Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next item, minutes of the 2 minutes 8A and 8B of the regular board meeting of May 19th and the special board meeting of May 21st. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, looking for a motion?
Motion to approve minutes from May 19th and May 21st.
I have a motion from Mr. Roman to approve. Looking for support?
Support.
I have support from Mr. Ruggles. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Presentation. Chief, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Tonight is a special night at the police department. We always love when we get to welcome new officers in and see officers that have been here rise up. So tonight we're going to do the official swearing in of Officer Dan Zimmerman, or if I can have him step forward. It's right there. Turn around. Okay, tonight we have Dan Zimmerman. Tonight here with him is his girlfriend Julie. Where's Julie? Over there. All right. And her family. Where is her family? Sorry, that's what's written here. Her family. His mother Chris, Father Mark, and stepmother Kelly. Awesome. Officer Zimmerman grew up in Oxford Township. He graduated from Oxford High School in 2019, working for his uncle's landscaping business throughout. After high school, Officer Zimmerman attended Michigan Technological University, where he learned that engineering was not for him. In 2021, Officer Zimmerman transferred to the Oakland Community College as a part-time student to pursue a career in criminal justice while he continued to work for his uncle. In 2024, he completed his associate's degree in criminal justice and applied to the Oakland Police Academy as a pre-service candidate. As he was going through that process and before the academy started, he applied to us here at White Lake, and we told him yes. We ultimately sponsored him into the academy, where he spent his time and graduated in October of 2025. And then earlier this year in February, he completed the White Lake Township FTO program. And we do have a tradition here at White Lake that you don't get to come before the board and your family until we know you're going to make it. So he passed FTO and has been on the road since. He does look forward to giving many years to White Lake Township and the community. And once the swearing in is done, his father Dan will be pinning his badge. So, Mr. Clerk.
Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and Constitution of this state, and that I will willfully perform the duties of the office of police officer for the Township of White Lake, County of Oakland, State of Michigan, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I do.
Congratulations.
You can sign first. Congratulations, welcome to White Lake.
Congratulations. Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Daniel.
Congratulations, Dan.
Congratulations.
Welcome, Dan.
Congratulations. If I could now get Officer Sean Keitel up here, please. Take a breath. Tonight I'm honored to do my first promotion as Chief of Police, and I'm ecstatic that it's Sean. Him and I are very close, and he's very, very deserving of this. The position of sergeant at White Lake Township is one of the most important positions we have. They're the ones really that are on the daily running the officers in the line, and they're the first line of supervision to make sure things go well. And I have no doubt that Officer Keitel will hold that tradition in high regard. Let's see, here tonight we have Officer Keitel's 4 children, Lillian, Hannah, Jocelyn, what's up, favorite, and Lincoln. All right. Officer Keitel grew up in Burton, Michigan, and graduated from Bendel High School in 2004. He then attended Nazarene Bible College and graduated with a bachelor's degree in pastoral ministries, which I didn't believe when I first met him. Officer Keitel spent 10 years as a pastor in various churches, and then he attended the Law Enforcement Regional Training Police Academy out of Mott Community College, graduating in May of 2016. He began his career here at White Lake Township Police in July of 2016. Since joining the White Lake Township Police Department, Officer Keitel has served as a patrol officer, detective, team officer, community officer, and field training officer. Officer Keitel has also served in numerous union positions, up to and including union president. Officer Keitel is the secretary of the White Lake Police Foundation, and his tenure here with the foundation has raised over $350,000 for the police foundation, which is monies that stay right here in the Lakes area to help a local community and our local kids. He also volunteers for Special Olympics. Officer Keitel is an instructor in standardized field sobriety testing, multiple active shooter disciplines, stop the bleed, taser instructor, and traffic stops instructor, where he also teaches for both the Law Enforcement Regional Training Academy and the Oakland Police Academy. Very, very thankful that he is here, and I am honored to see him promoted. So, Mr. Clerk.
Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of Police Sergeant for the Township of White Lake, County of Oakland, and State of Michigan, according to the best of my ability, so help me God. I do. Congratulations.
And to pin his badge will be his 4 children. You didn't lose it, did you?
Congratulations, well earned. Sir, congrats.
Congrats.
Thank you, Sean.
Congratulations. Thank you. Good job, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you, Chief. This is always one of the highlights of our organization, where we see our first responders being promoted from within, obviously, and it's a great thing for the community. Okay, next item is new business request to approve preliminary site plan for MAC Industries. Mr. O'Neill, let's talk cement.
Good evening. I would be delighted to. So tonight before you, this is kind of a unique request, and a very occasionally when something fairly close to being able to be done administratively comes through the process, because it just kind of ticks past that line. In the interest of time, we bundle up the process and make it a 2-step kind of trip through. So at the Planning Commission on June 4th, the site plan request for site plan approval was there before them, and at that time, they recommended preliminary site plan, and they also granted final site plan contingent upon them obviously meeting the conditions, and contingent upon the board granting preliminary site plan, which is generally sandwiched in the middle. So again, not the normal way a project comes through, but again, when it's an accessory structure or a very minor site change, and obviously this is a large building, but it's an accessory building used for the processing of concrete pipe and manholes, that's just sort of an add-on to the existing operation that they've had there that's been in existence, I believe, for I think roughly 80 years. MAC Industries, if you're not completely familiar with its location, is up in the very northeast corner of the township off of White Lake Road, and you can see it very clearly delineated and covered with cement dust. It's about 93 acres in size, and it's surrounded by property that's similarly zoned and then butts up to Highland Rec on the south side. So this is really our northerly industrial district, and this is obviously a kind of our major industry in White Lake Township, and they're going to be expanding this operation and staying here and growing, which is a great thing. There were a few things that the Planning Commission had to consider, and they are in the minutes and came up during the review. One was accepting the parking and loading requirements as is. They don't have a paved lot. You can see, this is kind of where they do that right now. The loading zones not being striped out, well, they run a lot of heavy machinery, so not paving the site. They're leaving it kind of as is, so striping it becomes kind of an impossibility, and then waiving a traffic study. I think they're going to have, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, an additional truck or two a day, something like that, a very small number of traffic trips increasing when this plant comes online. So if you're taking kind of a look at this area of the site, this building back a couple of years ago was approved, and I believe it's 14,000 square feet. We did that administratively because of the nature of it and the size of it. And, it's becoming, and this is a big file and it bogs my computer down, so please give me just a second. It will become, okay, one more page. It'll become kind of this. See this big box here? That is the new processing facility, and you can see tucked into that kind of lower right-hand or southeast corner, the existing building. One thing to note, this project went to the ZBA because it does exceed the maximum height allowable. They were granted a variance, as Trustee Anderson may recall, and I believe at that point, the only person who showed up to speak was a neighbor who was, well, I think one that was curious about what was going on, who got a notice but didn't object, and the other one was in support of it. So I think this is one of those things that it's kind of dirty and messy if you're on site, but everyone's come to kind of know for, I think, most of the community's entire lifetime, this kind of operation's been here, and we certainly, I think, as in our department and at the Planning Commission level, would certainly like to see it grow and be healthy and exist into the distant future. One other item that came up was that screening, which was a bit of an issue, and let me kind of go back to the aerial, if I can click on the correct tab. You can see the screening that's along White Lake Road, and if you've driven this stretch of road recently, you can see very little other than a berm with some trees on it. And the Planning Commission didn't have an issue with the existing, perimeter landscaping being effective enough, with the addition of, I guess, some, I think it's 10 mature evergreen trees along this berm here. There was a concern about installing a sidewalk at this point. There's really no residential anywhere near on the south side of the road. Certainly we want sidewalk on the north side where Mariners Cove exists. But it doesn't lead to a whole lot on the south side, and the applicant had requested the ability to do a sidewalk project somewhere else in lieu of doing it on their site. This is not a planned development. This is not, a project that's going to have a development agreement, but it's something that they would like to not install because it doesn't provide much of a benefit here. And as a matter of fact, it would be a detriment in that a bit of tree clearing and grading of that berm would have to take place in order to build a 6-foot sidewalk up there. And that would then take away a lot of the natural buffer that exists along the road. So the number that was arrived at was $150,000. I believe, and Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the applicant is okay with that. The Planning Commission was suggesting that somewhere along the M59 corridor where sections could be plugged in to allow for better pedestrian access be the recipient of the improvements that would be designated to happen with these dollars. And one correction I want to make in your minutes is that if you look at the motion, it says the contribution of $150,000 for pathways along M59, and then in parentheses it says, unless it is determined by staff or consultants that a greater amount is needed, the number it should actually say a lesser amount was needed. So, and that is as a result of both the applicant's engineer and Mr. Lufkin, our engineer, discussing what the cost of installing a 600-foot plus sidewalk would be. And I think kind of spitballing that night, they kind of got together and thought 150,000 would be that number. And I think that it may be, it's hard to put an exact number on it, and it's at the low range of acceptable, but the Planning Commission was okay with that. And so that is a recommendation, unless it can be determined that lesser of an amount would be necessary in order to, achieve an installation of sidewalk along this frontage. So that's where things stand with this. One more thing I should note is that because this is so old and because this has existed for so many years, they don't have a special land use. It was discussed and determined that if anything were to change going forward, any more increase of intensity, any more of the land that's currently out there of the 93 acres would be used for this business operation, they would have to get a special land use at that time. So this is sort of their last trip through with the kind of existing non-conforming status attached to it for this accessory building. I think we're all comfortable with that, or at least through the Planning Commission at the staff level, but certainly if in the future there is an expansion beyond what you see here, they would need that. And there's nothing wrong with it. It just simply is a requirement for if a new operation were to come in today, they would have to get a special land use approval. So not a big deal, just something I wanted to mention that was discussed through the review process and at the Planning Commission. So if you have any questions for me, I'm here. Any questions for Mike? He's here as well.
Okay. Mr. Ruggles, do you have anything you want to add?
Well, so Sean, the issue of the sidewalk comes up just because they want to build this building, right?
Yes. Yes, it's usually measured, and we've had, I'll use McDonald's as an example. When they want to do a facade upgrade, we don't go in the ordinance and say, hey, these 5 things are deficient. If you're going to change the colors on your building with this very minor request, you've got to do all these other things that are going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if they're going to put an addition on the building and they're going to tear the site up anyway, then we say, hey, you don't have a sidewalk, you're supposed to have a sidewalk. So there's not an exact science to it. It really depends on what each application is asking for and the scope of the work, and then we try to work with them, but try to make the changes that are appropriate into the scale of what they're kind of commensurate with what they're kind of asking to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
With existing property owners and businesses.
So we've got an ordinance that calls for that sidewalk to go in. And, given the location, you're right, you're totally right. It doesn't make sense to have a sidewalk there at all. It's not necessary. And, the business has been there for 100 years without it. It seems like $150,000 is a lot of money. So, I'm not sure if the township board needs to get that much out of these guys for sidewalk elsewhere. It seems like it's a bit unnecessary. They want to put up a building, and I'm happy they do. I'm all for it. I hope they do well there. And, I do business with these guys, and I hope they continue on and are prosperous. So I'm not sure. 150,000 seems like a lot of money to me. That's all I'll say.
So I think the goal of that was to address the kind of a forever need for a sidewalk. So my thought is we either address the forever need now and do something else with it at their request, or we don't require it at all. And we say that through an administrative, or I should say through this process of adding on to a building, it's not risen to the level where it becomes necessary. And so then a future expansion or future development on this property would trigger the need to address this down the road. I don't think we should split the matter. It's not very clean. Because if we take a lesser amount and it's not appropriate to achieve what the requirement was, and it's a big number because there's a significant amount of frontage. I think I used 600 feet and that's way off. It's like 24, yeah. So that is 2,400 feet. So it's almost a half a mile of sidewalk.
Like it, yeah.
Right, so I was way off, but in that number.
4.
Yeah, it's just one of those days. It's Friday, right? So my thought is we either agree that this is acceptable and it's the number that they're good with, or we skip it completely and say at a later date, when you do a more significant project, we'll deal with it at that time, which is also acceptable.
Okay. So, thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Clerk.
I like your second part, Sean, of we just skip it all together, because it's way up. I went and looked at it with Mike and Treasurer Roman. I didn't know it went way back there. I was just amazed with all their productivity and everything, but you really can't put a sidewalk out there. It's big, long ditch line.
Yep.
Instead of that, maybe suggesting they kind of get rid of, there's a block building that, are you the owner?
That's actually not their building.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No, it's got, I don't know.
Fenced into their property.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's super old and it's not, go ahead, sorry, Scott.
Until we walked, I didn't know it was there.
You need to identify yourself for the
Scott
recording.
Salzider, 40900 Woodward Avenue, Bloomfield Hills. Sean and I did talk about that block building at the beginning of the planning stage, and it happens to be a Consumers Energy property. There was an old gas valve in there, and the gas valve, I think, has either been abandoned or removed. That's why there's no frontage on, there's no doors on there anymore. So we don't really have any rights to demo that building. But I just had suggested that the township contact Consumers or
I'm going to.
It's not great. It's just graffiti and, empty.
Yeah, I think I think the valve is no longer, it's either off or there is no valve there. I thought Howard told me there's no valve there anymore, so it might, and that's why the doors, I think, were removed, so.
Unless you want to spend the $150,000.
To remove that.
Yeah, that's.
No, you
that's-
don't? Okay.
No.
What I was saying is, I don't think we should require him to spend 150. It's way up in the north end. The sidewalks aren't going to go anywhere. No one's going to walk on that side.
Yeah, I
to
think
what
it's
you
a-
were saying earlier.
Yeah, and I think you're correct. If you look at this big ditch line, you'd have to go beyond the ditch, and now you're getting into the fence line, you're getting into the berm and all this vegetation because you can't put it in the middle of the ditch. So you're going back of the ditch. Some of it may actually leave then the road right of way and end up on the property, and it's going to take all this vegetation that is the natural screening that's there. So
Yeah,
it's kind of.
you can't see back there
No.
with
I
that
mean,
gone.
the only area you could really fit it would be, again, in a useless manner, 100 feet in either direction or 80 feet in either direction of a driveway, which isn't even usable. So it doesn't make sense. And just for the record, I think it's important to acknowledge that there is a requirement, but that it should be for the record stated that at this point, given the nature of the request, it's not something you're going to require at this time, but at a future time, it will be required, and leave it that way. So we know it's in the middle of nowhere. The ordinance it's still something that needs to be addressed either completely one way or completely the other at a later time. So I'm comfortable with going either way with that.
Counselor? Any question? Oh, just a moment. I asked Counselor a question.
Okay.
No.
No? Go ahead. What's your take on it?
I mean, it sounds like you might not do anything with it today, so.
Okay.
I think we're going to do something with it today.
Yeah, I was just questioning, and I didn't have an opportunity to chat with Sean about it in advance, whether it should be a request for a variance before the ZBA, because it's a zoning ordinance requirement that you're essentially deviating from, not through a PD. That's what I was just curious how that's playing out.
Right, and I think it goes back to what I said earlier to Mr. Ruggles in answer to his question. We cannot, with every little request that comes in for every addition, we don't throw the book at folks. You don't want us to, we don't want to, obviously the business owners don't want to, that's going the wrong direction with it. So usually the level of improvement required in order to make the site compatible and meet the current ordinance is commensurate with the kind of project that they're doing. Putting up a big pole barn to do some processing, if they're building a big 3-story office building and spending $10 million on it and doing a whole bunch of site work, we would deal with this today. Because it's an addition to an existing building, albeit a large one, I think it's fair, and it's in an area where there's an interpretation that needs to be made. And if the interpretation of the board is that we leave this issue alone for now because it hasn't risen to the level where it's commensurate, requiring the site improvement is commensurate with the level of improvement going on site, in my role as the person who interprets the ordinance and generally makes these judgment calls in the office, I am comfortable with the board making that determination. And then at a later date, when another project comes down the road, and I'm certainly hopeful that MAC will continue to grow, and they come in and do something more significant, and there's more site work involved, then we would deal with it, at that time.
Yeah, I mean,
along with the special land use.
I mean, I'm just excited he's bringing, 25 new jobs? I heard that number, and you're putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into the building, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well,
And
to
it's
kind of give,
excitement for White Lake.
yeah, to kind of give the board, I had a conversation with the MEDC, and, it's estimated between 20 and 30 jobs, and the range between $60,000 and $90,000. And the building is approximately $14 million investment that they're making. But what's really exciting is the fact that they're going to make a $24 million, more or less, investment on automated machinery. So it's a significant investment for them. And I don't want anything to seem punitive when they're going to be creating economic opportunity for our community. So I understand your position.
Yeah.
And I think that we should lean in that direction, that if something above and beyond this particular scope arises, that we can address it at that time.
Yeah, and just for the record, it's an expensive investment due in large part to the kind of equipment inside this building. But there is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, very, very little site work going on. It's a fairly level site. They're not doing a bunch of paving. They're not doing a bunch of stormwater improvements. They're building a building. They're plunking a building addition down on an existing flat surface. So that is what, when we don't start tearing into a site, and you're going to see another one coming down the pike with the old Wendy's Tim Hortons building where we're going to deal with this in a similar fashion, and they're going to go in, they're going to redo some of the paving, they're going to leave a lot of the curb line, a lot of stormwater in. We're not going to go open the ordinance and try to find every single section that is, this far off. We're going to say, you're reinvesting in the community, you're taking an eyesore kind of off of our eyesore radar and bringing in viable businesses, and so if we don't do it that way, we're not going to encourage the redevelopment or the expansion of, existing business sort of with our economic development hat on. So they're not doing a lot of site work here, but they are making a major investment inside the walls of this building.
Okay. Mr. Roman?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I had a question too.
I had some questions. Sorry.
Who else has got a
Approve
question?
the,
There's questions here.
You can make your motion.
Yeah, I can still
and
make
then
the
there can
motion.
be
Yeah.
discussion.
You can make a motion,
Finish the
we'll have
motion.
discussion.
motion to approve the preliminary site plan for Mac Industries without a sidewalk being installed, and that if another project goes in there down the road, we'll reconsider the sidewalk.
I'll second that.
We have motion, we have discussion.
I can
So,
second it and then discuss.
I just,
Yep.
You can second it and discuss.
Okay, but we're having discussion right now. Who?
So he seconded.
So you said, I
He
seconded
did
it.
second it, yes.
And now
Anthony
what?
did.
no, I just,
Mr. Anderson?
yeah, I just wanted to make a comment.
Start with Liz, okay.
Just as you had said, that, they came in front of the ZBA and they were very cordial in being able to address the issues that we had, and they were willing to make any type of adjustments. So from that standpoint, that just shows that they have a good policy with regard to contribution to the township. So I just wanted to make that comment. And the other thing is that the $150,000 just for the sidewalk or whatever else, was it designated where it was going to be, or just somewhere on 59?
Not specifically. The planning commission was going to ask the staff to work with the parks committee to figure out where we could fill in some gaps along the M59 corridor where we see more of a demand for some of those pedestrian connections to be made, so.
I just wanted to be sure it wasn't already designated somewhere, a place, and then all of a sudden we're going to have to go back to, some business on 59 to be able to get them.
Nope, it never
That's
went that
fine.
far.
Okay, I'm fine.
No, down here.
Thank you. So I just kind of want to discuss, board, the other side of this. Just a little bit worried of a small can of worms here. Not everything Mr. O'Neill said is reasonable, and I appreciate your willingness and cooperation, but we normally jump on the opportunity of sidewalks, and we do make other developments do that. So all of a sudden, we're like, no problem. I mean, there's maybe a middle ground here that we need to consider or think about. The applicant is not asking us to do away with sidewalks. I mean, this is an opportunity to put in some sidewalks for our residents. They're not objecting to it. So, I mean, we maybe should consider it.
Yep. I think we talked about this before. It's a slippery slope, though. If you take money, put it in a pool, and then you make
Well,
them
but
go down the
there's a
other side of
dedicated
town.
use for it. There's a difference.
So what you're talking about is a
Yeah, excuse
community
me,
benefit.
council has
Mr.
something to say?
Right? I mean, that's different. Community benefit, we all are a little bit uncomfortable with because it's like an unknown pot, if you will. This is, we would designate for sidewalks.
If I can answer your original question.
Okay, thank you.
And I think Sean explained it at the beginning, and it resonated with me, so I'll try to convey it in less words.
That shouldn't be hard.
Thank you.
That issue of what triggers compliance with current ordinances is a discretionary one. And generally, the planning director determines what that trigger is. And in this case, while it was a discretionary decision, he said, well, this addition is a big addition, so I think it does trigger it, or it may trigger it. And then it comes to the planning commission and comes to the board. And what it sounds like the motion is saying, nah, it doesn't trigger it. And since it is a discretionary determination, you can do that. Fair?
Yes, and I'm generally okay with making that call. This is a bigger issue, so I thought, you know what, this is big enough to where the planning commission board need to weigh in on it, and that's why it's being talked about.
That's why it's a little different than any other site requirement,
Yes,
is
I
because
agree.
it's not a whole new.
And like I said, everything Mr. O'Neill said is reasonable. I mean, I don't mind what he proposed, but I just think we should not, so, we should just have a little discussion about it and think about, are we foregoing an opportunity to enhance our sidewalks for our residents? Because that's a big deal to our residents. They want sidewalks.
Good? Andrea?
Yeah, I agree with Trustee Smith. As your Parks and Rec liaison, we are always encouraging more sidewalks. I love the community benefit because I truly travel your road 5 days a week. And I don't think it needs to go in front of Mac Valves, to be honest with you. So thank you for giving us that. And I absolutely think that we could find someplace in White Lake to put more sidewalks and to make us more walkable.
Yeah, I mean, if the applicant was asking us not to, was objectionary or foregoing the sidewalk, then that'd be a different story, but he's willing to.
I don't think
he
he was
said
given the
anything yet,
opportunity
so.
to make that decision.
We're going to give him an
Well,
opportunity to speak.
Mr. O'Neill presented it as though he didn't
Do you want to pay
mind.
150,000 or no?
I mean, I don't know.
And just really quickly, we're struggling because there are competing interests. We want to, A, screen the daily traffic and the folks that maybe live in the distance, but fairly nearby, from having to see any of what is a very industrial operation. And in order to do the sidewalk project, it's going to end up removing a lot of the existing vegetation and removing a portion of some of the berm.
I agree to not do it. I understand
Sure.
all of that it doesn't make sense there. It's not a walkable area for our residents. I get that.
Yeah, we didn't push them on it because we thought that the addition of a sidewalk deleted a lot of screening. And so
Agreed.
there are significantly competing interests, so.
Okay, all right. So, those two with thoughts. Mr.,
Well, let's vote on my motion if we could.
Okay.
Call the question.
okay.
Can we hear from the applicant? I mean.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from the applicant first, and sir.
Don't call the question then.
No, not calling the question yet.
Well, the nature of the planning commission meeting was, the option of deferring this to a future project that would be of a larger impact and where the sidewalks might be more appropriate. That wasn't part of the discussion that night. So we certainly wanted to have approval, because that night we were getting both preliminary and final site plan approval. And the discussion of the meeting really just headed towards, would you be willing to, be part of the sidewalk fund where sidewalks could be put in where they're more usable. I certainly wanted to leave that meeting with an approval, so that's how that discussion came about. Tonight's discussion, which is welcome, to not have to pay that fee and be able to defer that to maybe a more appropriate time, I certainly welcome that, and would like to leave here tonight with an approval as well.
Rick, just so the board knows, the amount of money they're looking at in this new building is going to bring in significant property taxes to this
know.
township, significant. So just so everyone knows that.
Well, I don't think that a sidewalk prohibits the jobs or taxes or revenues that they're going to bring. That's going to happen no matter what, whether it's a sidewalk or not a sidewalk.
I think to be fair to him, he wanted a yes, so under duress, that's what I'd call it. He's going to
That-
say yes.
That's what I
That
wanted to hear
is,
from the
that,
applicant.
just to be clear, that was not the
case, you
tone,
misspoke.
that was not at all the
That's how I
tone or
feel.
tenor.
Yeah.
That's not, that was, well, I was there in the room and
No,
the
I'm just
tone.
saying, he's going to
Sure.
say, from tonight's conversation.
Yeah,
of course
and that's
he's gonna
fine
say
for him to
that.
characterize it, but I sat in that room and
No,
that was not the tone.
I would not
It-
say it was under duress.
Okay, then
No, I do not.
strike that.
That wasn't my
But the tone of it,
point.
to clarify, at no point did someone say, you're going to have to give money in order to get approval. So.
That's correct.
It came out a little weird from you, Scott, and that is not how the conversation went at all, not in the least. There was a discussion prior to the meeting with the engineer, who's not here tonight, about, what we're going to do with the sidewalk. So before that night, there was back and forth.
I agree.
And that's where
To be
this
fair,
first started.
how I read him saying it was, he wanted to make have a good favor to the board, so he didn't have that.
He did say it that way.
At this point, I'm calling the question.
All right.
Okay.
Call the question. Okay, so
We have a motion.
we have a motion, we have support, whom supported?
Anthony.
Anthony supported. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Thanks for investing in
coming out.
White Lake.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for putting up with us. Okay. Okay, item 10B, request to approve addition of personal policies, procedures, paid parental leave, non-union employees. Trish and Robin. And it shows you guys, how you guys rate.
I rate out there too, I just have to run the
temporary.
computer.
Who put you behind the pole, Sean?
It's done.
You hear me? Good evening, members of the board. Tonight, I am presenting a proposed non-union, Robin Myers, Human Resources. Good evening, members of the board. Tonight, I'm presenting a proposed non-union paid parental leave policy for your consideration. This policy would provide eligible full-time employees with up to 4 weeks of paid leave following the birth or adoption of a child. The proposal is designed to support employees during one of life's most significant events while also strengthening White Lake Township's ability to recruit and retain talented employees. As the workplace expectations continue to evolve, family-friendly benefits have become increasingly more of an important factor in attracting and keeping skilled workforce. The proposed policy provides paid parental leave equally to all eligible new parents. This recommendation reflects White Lake Township's commitment to supporting employees and family-first values while helping to ensure we remain competitive with neighboring communities that offer similar benefits. I would appreciate your time and consideration and would be happy to answer any questions.
Clarify the non-union piece of it, though.
So to clarify the non-union piece, this would be eligible for all non-union, so general township employees. This would be something that our unions would have to, if they would like this benefit, would have to negotiate for it. It would be a large negotiation chip, but we are just offering this for non-unions. It's very similar to the policies we brought last month.
Okay. And the duration of this program for the benefit of the folks that are out in the public, what's the length of time off?
So 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yep.
4 weeks paid. time
Yep,
off.
4 weeks paid.
So right now.
Conservative.
Yep.
They get 12.
Mr. Ruggles, yes, go ahead.
Thanks.
Your mic, get a little closer to your microphone there.
So right now they get 12 weeks unpaid.
Yes, 12 weeks unpaid, which is under the Family Medical Leave Act, which is a federal law.
So White Lake Township currently has no policy for this.
Right.
Okay. So if they get 4 weeks paid, do they get 12 weeks on top of that?
Yes, it does not run concurrently. Right now, we run concurrently for Family Medical Leave Act, so FMLA. You would have to spend all of your sick and vacation leave in order to get paid while you're on FMLA.
So this basically is for men and women.
This is for men and women.
So you want to give men 4 weeks paid time off
Yes.
when their wife has a child.
As someone that is currently carrying a child, I don't think we should discriminate based on the basis of sex, just because that is a federal law based on the Civil Rights Act of Title VII of 1964. So it makes it a little bit easier for us to be able to defend not only as a liability, but also as we continue to move into more modern benefits.
Modern benefits. So I'm not sure if it is a discrimination. Not every township does this. Other townships have other situations where they do 6 weeks for women, 3 weeks for men, right?
Yes, they do. For similarly, Highland has 6 weeks for a primary parent and then 3 weeks for a secondary parent. We do not necessarily have that situation here at White Lake Township. We don't have very many couples that are spousal, and the point of Highland's policy is that they are designated a primary parent and a secondary parent based on whether or not the parents both work at the township. So that means if one parent is considered the primary parent, they would get the 6 weeks, and then the secondary parent would get the 3 weeks. That way there isn't a huge gap in employees at the township.
Just so we understand each other, I'm a man, you're a woman, we're not the same, right?
Right.
Okay. So when my wife had a child, 3 of them, it wasn't the same experience, not even close. That's not discrimination, that's just a fact. So what she experiences is much different than what I would experience. When I had 3 children, after 2 days, I was back to work. She wasn't. So I have an issue with entertaining the idea of giving any grown man 4 weeks of paid leave for doing not much. Now, if he wants to spend some, like you've put in here, all kinds of fancy words about bonding with your children and the need for that, and some of the justification was DEI, diversity, inclusion, equality, words that should never be included in anything in White Lake Township or anywhere else. I just totally against it. Now, we want to talk about what's right for a woman, we can talk about that. But, you know, it's not the same at all.
Well,
Trish?
Make a comment. So the way this is presented is not just a recovery, but as a bonding policy.
I bonded just fine with mine.
And
I didn't
that is
get 4
required
weeks.
by Title VII, but if you were looking into a different type of policy, you could do strictly a birthing policy for recovery.
If we
of the
have to
mother.
give men this to avoid a lawsuit, I don't want any of it. Why have it then?
I think that not offering it to men kind of perceives the idea that women should be the primary caregiver and there should
They
be.
are. You are. Write that down. You are. I don't breastfeed the kids. I mean,
Right.
this is modern or whatever else you want to call it. It's just a fact.
So that is, I think we can come to a common ground is that we have a paid parental leave as a proposal, but we also have an alternative proposal that it could be a birth recovery leave specifically for mothers, for women, that it is more concentrated on the medical leave. That way, they would get 4 weeks of recovery for that bonding time. And I think that would be, if that is something that you would like to introduce, we've also prepared that as well.
Yeah, but I think we would have to bring
We
that
would have to
back.
bring it, we'd have to bring it back, but just as something that we wanted to make it defensible and fair for, as we step into trying to offer more benefits to be more attractive to certain families, I think that just paid parental leave is more defensible from a legal standpoint.
It's also, when I had my first child, my husband did stay home with me for a while. It wasn't on a paid leave, but it was more of an assistance to me as the new mother, not just because he's a father. And I think that a lot of women are looking for that help and that assistance, and that's also partly why we were recommending the parental leave. It's not because, I mean, there is a Title VII and you have to offer it equally if you do a parental leave, but it is, think of it in another way, it's to assist the mother who is going to be home more than 4 weeks, usually after they have the baby,
They
so.
can do 12 weeks unpaid.
Right, but I mean, there's some overlap where the husband's there to help, and that's
If you
one way
give
to look at it.
Any man the chance to be home for 4 weeks paid, they're going to take it. I mean, I don't think it's necessary, but that's just a fact.
Okay. Trustee Smith.
I want to commend you for including parental, or for including men in this parental leave. Men are absolutely 50% equal parents, and it is to support the woman, the bond of the child. And I would be happy to support our employees in strengthening the foundation of their family when a newborn enters. So I'm in support of it, and I want to thank you for including men.
Thank you.
I only have one, I agree with all the times, but you can only you can only have the parental leave if you adopt a child under 1 year of age. So if you adopt a 1.5-year-old, you're out of luck. That's what I didn't like about it. I wish we'd say any newborn biological children or adopted children with no age. Because you can't, that's who's adoptable nowadays are the older kids.
So I definitely agree with you, and I think that this is a great basis as a start. I think that as we grow, as we continue to hire, I've hired 25 new people while I've been here, and I think that if we grow our benefits, we will have more young people being able to have the opportunity to adopt. And that way we can continue to have the opportunity to have that situation come up and we can expand that benefit.
So before you move on, Mr. Supervisor, I just want one point of clarity that you discussed the Highland Township policy as reference to cross over if we do have a married couple. Can we add that to ours? We do.
Absolutely.
We do have married couples that work for White Lake Township. So in the event that happens, I would like to add that where we don't have, if they happen to work in the same department, a large gap then in employment, So maybe that would be a good idea to incorporate that, I think.
I agree with you.
I mean, it could be approved with the tweaks, whatever you guys think makes sense.
Yeah, we could do 4 and 2 weeks or whatever would be suggested by the board.
Yeah, so I'd like to see the maternal have the longer.
Right.
And the paternal have the shorter, just in case.
One question.
Mr. Anderson.
Or you can separate them.
Maybe I missed it or whatever else. What about a surrogate mother?
Surrogacy is not included in this policy just because, once again, that's something that we could expand on. But for the purposes of this policy, surrogacy tends to have a monetary value if you're surrogating for those persons.
Right.
This is a bonding policy leave, so if you were to be adopting a child that is from that surrogacy, I think that would qualify.
It's different. You're not taking the child home when it's a surrogacy. So we're supporting the parents that are coming home with a child.
But if all of a
So
sudden
it's
you're
not
adopting.
it's not a recovery leave necessarily. It's to bond with the child. They're not bringing a child home.
Okay, so the adoption process would cover the surrogate.
The adoption,
okay,
if they got from a surrogate, that person who is taking the baby, adopting the baby is
Right.
covered.
covered.
Not a person who
Well,
has a baby
Okay,
for someone else.
maybe I didn't, to clarification, if all of a sudden a young couple decides to have a surrogate child, so when the baby is born, then the parents get to take the child home, and you're saying this policy
That's
would cover
adoption.
it.
They would be adopting it.
That's what I've said. So adoption would, but surrogate.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to get a clarification.
Okay, Mr. Roman.
Did you say what we could do would be giving the birth mother 4 weeks and the birth father 2 weeks?
If that's what you
That's
would like to.
Is that okay?
Not legal, I guess. is
Yeah.
my question.
So we would have to do what Highland did and designate a primary and a secondary caregiver.
But that's in the event if they both work for White Lake Township.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, well, does that work for you guys, the 4 and the 2?
But if they don't, if they're individual, they get 4 weeks each. How does that work,
Yeah, so if
Robin?
if only the male works for White Lake Township, he would still be entitled to 4 weeks. Or if only the woman, then she is entitled to 4 weeks. If they
Okay.
both work here, then it'd be a 4 and a 2 week split. Right? That's what
Yes.
you're referencing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how they do it at Highland.
Mr. Ruggles?
Are there any issues with that, Robin?
No.
I'm still not, I think 4 weeks for a man's too much. I think I could go along with 2, and even that is generous, extremely generous.
Could we do 2? Because, I mean, to this point.
We cannot discriminate based on sex, unfortunately, but we can designate someone as the primary parent and a secondary parent if they are both working for the township.
Do they make that choice?
Yeah.
Yes, they would,
Okay,
they
so
would
they
make
make
that
that choice.
choice.
We would get, and then we'd have to go ahead, the primary and secondary, determine exactly the number of weeks, it would be written in the policy?
Yes.
Like the primary would have 4 weeks and the secondary would have 2 weeks?
Yes.
And would it matter what department they're in? Because if they're in separate departments,
I think that there's maybe some confusion, and maybe it's just on my part, but I think we're talking about two different things. We're talking about the time for the parental leave for both parents, but also in the instance that both parents are employees. There's two
Right.
different things here.
Yes. Right.
And I think we're kind of meshing them. And
No,
so I
we
just wanted
understand. We're trying to figure out how we
I
can
added-
change it.
I requested that to be added to our policy.
Yes, we understand.
Yeah.
But is there a difference, in your opinion, if both parents work for the township, but let's say one's in the police department and one's here, where it does not affect how the department operates? In that case, do you need to have them designated or as a primary and a secondary parent? I would only think that would be applicable if they were working in the same department.
Yeah, I think if they're in the same department.
I think this needs to go back to the.
Yeah, I think we need to work on it a little and bring it back.
I'll make a motion to table this till you guys come back.
Why does it need to go back to the drawing board? It's really clear.
I just think there's a lot of confusion. I think it needs to be put together with the information that's been talked about today.
Requesting amendment to
And
this.
read it. So I have a motion on the floor table, and I will support. So we have motion and support. All in favor of the table? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed, I don't see any reason to do that.
Motion is tabled. Moving on. Next item is a simple resolution 26015, interested in participating in the Urban County Community Development Block Grant Program 2027 to 2029. Tricia, do you have anything to add to that?
I do not, just our current agreement is expiring, and they're asking that, if we are going to continue our participation as we have been doing for many years.
Okay.
You want a
so
motion, Mr.
I need a
Supervisor?
motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 26-015.
Second that.
I have motion and support. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Request to approve donor recognition rights policy. We went into this into the point of nauseam. Gentlemen, you may return. Okay. And Counselor, what have you got to add on this? Because you're the one that.
Unfortunately, I was unable to be here the day this was considered last. I watched the meeting. I've had numerous conversations with my colleague who attended, as well as Trish, and I believe that this reflects the township's desire.
Okay. I have read it. It is reasonably clear. It does allow the township board to have basically final say-so. And
The only issue that was left was I struggled with what you wanted to list in Exhibit A. And so that might be some discussion regarding what you want to list as where you would place donor recognitions.
Okay.
The only ones that were listed were the ones that were in your previous one. That's the public safety building, not any other township building. The township parks such as playground, sports field, water fountains, water gardens, trail, and township park amenities such as benches, statues, and pavers.
Yeah, personally, I don't have a problem with any of those. Anybody have any comment on that?
And if you want to add to them after it's adopted, it would have to come back to an amendment
Just
to the
amend.
policy.
Okay, all right, well, that's good. We can always do that.
I have 3 questions or comments. Are we ready or no? You have more to say? Thank you. On page 1, under public facilities towards the bottom, I just want to clarify, was this overlooked to not be red line, or is this
Liz,
language?
you need to get your microphone a little closer, dear.
Oh, okay. Okay now?
Yep, much
Okay.
better. Thank you.
I'll start over. On page 1, public facilities, it's the last paragraph. I just want clarity. Should this been redlined, or is it in here? It says buildings, including interior and exterior spaces. So the board requested last time the majority to not have donor recognition on buildings. So can we strike the word buildings there?
So when I was
I mean, I know
watching.
you need to be descriptive, but.
When I was watching the meeting from last time, it seemed that there was some confusion. Liz, at one point, you indicated that we were doing this for a particular donor, and that was to put a plaque on the building. And then at one point, Clerk Noble indicated that it wouldn't apply to that particular donor. And so I felt that it wasn't clear what the discussion really, whether everyone understood that if you don't put the building, then a plaque can't go on the building. We're not saying to name the building itself, because if you look at how I defined donor recognition, it lists like plaque and the different ways you could put a name on a building.
So could we just simply put in parentheses there, does not include the building itself?
Or do you change it to the idea of just put interiors rather than exteriors?
So I
just
put
think
may
that this
purchase.
Creates some
To me,
confusion.
that would take care of the idea of something being on the building outside. If you
I
just
do think
remove,
the intent is outside and inside.
no, we were talking about inside only.
I think,
I mean, we have to be very honest, we're dancing around something. We have a request to put a plaque outside of the public safety building. That request, I understand, is still in negotiations and has not been completely finalized and approved by this board, correct? So this policy is going to go into place before that happens?
Ideally, yes, that this would be in place before any donor recognitions are placed. I will note, that said, that this township board did make a motion to accept a donation from this individual late last year.
to be
But
put
where-
on the building.
but where-
On the public safety building. He hadn't decided if he wanted it on the inside or the outside.
So that part hasn't
Personally,
been decided,
I don't
so
really think
if-
he cares, but I think we need to keep building in here.
Yes, I think
And
so.
we also need to remember that each
But
and
I-
every potential donation has to be approved by the board still.
I think building, to my perspective, kind of mucks things up or does allow for some potential confusion.
Well, but if you look at the way I redefine donor recognition rights, I indicated that it's to purchase the right to place appropriate dedications, recognitions, or memorials on a fixed asset of the township. So this is just setting the framework so that when a future agreement, because you're going to get a contract that has all the details in it, which you're going to have to approve. So you'll be able to say, that's not appropriate. Nope, I think here, I think
But it's
there.
not a unanimous approval that's going to happen. So the majority of this board wants this name on I am objectionary to it. I don't want this name on the public safety building. I think the public safety building should not be for sale and should remain White Lake Township and
They're not naming,
autonomous.
Not
not
naming the
naming the
building.
building. It's just a
But-
It's a
dedication.
plaque. It's not
Then let's
naming.
say that. Let's be very clear and say, we're not, put it in here. The buildings cannot be named. If that's our intention, why are we afraid to write it down?
She took out the word naming. Everywhere I see naming is crossed out. Right?
Except
Yeah,
the
we're not
buildings
named-
is
'cause you
here.
didn't want any in order, Scott, you didn't want a building named after someone.
That's right.
So that was taken
It's all
out.
taken
I was
out.
okay with the plaque.
Yeah, but that's all been taken out.
And do we
Well, I just-
have any problem with the
That's why
idea
I'm
of the
bringing it
plaque
up,
being on?
because the building is still worded in this particular paragraph. That's why I'm
Yeah,
looking for
because that's where
clarity
we're gonna
that.
put the plaque, is on the building.
It'll
So
ultimately go
how can you
on the
take building out if the plaque's gonna go on the building?
Well, that's why we're talking about it, because building says here, so I think it just leaves some room for,
It sounds like they're
All right,
going
any
to
other-
the entire building.
I just
Yeah.
want to clarify.
Mr. Anderson has
I mean,
something.
it has the
Clarification.
potential, I still have a few more questions. So this just gives the potential, I mean, it gives the impression, I don't know what to say, that you can name the building. And the intention of this board is to not name the building. So this, in my opinion, needs to be addressed. And then one of my questions was, there is no list attached here. There's the last page, and so who will compile the list? The board will compile the list. We're compiling it tonight. It will come back to the board. How are we going to handle the list?
Okay. Mr. Anderson.
I'm asking questions. I'm not done talking,
I don't
right?
have an answer for you.
Okay, then just say we don't have an answer.
Okay? I want to hear what Mr. Anderson has.
I think the initial list should be determined. And if you want the initial list just to be the 3 things I listed for now, that's fine, and you can amend it later. Or you can add things that you guys agree upon now, but you should have an initial list before you adopt the policy.
Agree, we should have a list, and there's
there
no
more?
list here.
Yes, there is.
I mean, there is I see that in,
There is a list. Exhibit A is there.
Exhibit A is
my
a
Exhibit
list
A
of
has
what you would
nothing.
allow.
There's no,
Where
it doesn't
you would
open.
allow placement of
I-
dedication.
Those 3 things, these 3 lines right there.
There it is, right
We
here.
don't know that. Just leave it, can't you just leave it fixed assets?
I understood from the last board meeting that you all wanted more specific information originally.
Right, that's how we left it, is that we were
Oh,
going to
okay.
determine a list.
So what else did
So
you
I'm
want?
just asking, how
did you
are we
wanna
going
add
to
on
move
it?
forward with the
Let's
list?
do it right now.
Yeah.
What does it say? Public safety building. I think you should add the township hall too. If you're gonna have one building, you may as well have both.
Could be a plaque.
I mean, right
Somebody might
now,
wanna put a
you got,
plaque.
you got pictures. I mean, do we have a policy for pictures? Because right now, the old boardroom has pictures of all kinds of former
Don't go there,
trustees.
Please don't go there, please.
Your picture may be
begging
up there one day, Rick.
I was wondering how you get on the wall.
And then,
You got to die first, buddy.
well, the plans, just so you know, the plans for the new boardroom, there's plans to have pictures of this board up on one wall, but, okay, so my last question is, I had requested that in this policy, that it be stated that no members of the current board would accept any campaign finance donations from anyone that was requesting or giving monetary donation, what are we calling it? Donation rights? What are we calling it? Donor recognition. So no campaign contributions accepted from board members for donor recognition rights.
Liz, can I ask you,
don't even
what does one have to do with the other?
Yeah, I don't even understand
I just think that they should not mix. I don't think that there should be an air of impropriety. I don't think the public should say, well, so-and-so gave this person that much money and that's how they got their name on the plaque, or that's how they got the bench or whatever they're buying. So why would you not want that? Why would you not want to have that, a very clear division?
Well, to Mr. Roma's point, public safety building,
Yeah, I
township
guess.
hall, township parks such as playgrounds, sports field, water fountains, flower gardens, trail, township park amenities such as benches, statues, pavers. That were those are the items that are currently on the list with the addition of the township hall. And everything else is defined in here, and the naming rights has been struck off here multiple times. So I think that the board will still have that opportunity to look at this when the person does make the final, decision to do something, and we will have a time to scrutinize it a little bit closer. I think this is really just trying to get this fundamental framework put together, and I think you have reached, that objective.
Okay, so does someone have an objection to that, adding to this policy? That if you don't have an objection, then what does it hurt to state in here that board members will not accept campaign contributions from people that are making donor recognition contributions?
No.
Just so I understand your question, you're suggesting if someone ever contributes to the campaign of any elected official, they will forever be barred from being a donor?
No, what I'm suggesting is if you're a current board member, you should not accept campaign contributions from people that are before us wanting to make a donor recognition. If they're coming before this board and asking for their name to be on something, then I'm asking for this board to have a clear line that you don't take campaign contributions from them.
It seems to me that would be more appropriate in a personnel policy or some sort of administrative policy that governs this board, as opposed to the framework for how you will accept donations from donors.
Well, I mean, we don't have any policy like that, so we would have to create it. We don't have anything, to my knowledge, that addresses that. We don't even have a policy to add it to a personnel policy.
Like an ethics policy or anything?
Nothing comes to mind.
Because that's really
at the
what I
moment.
think
I
it
mean,
would.
Trish might know because she just updated them, but nothing comes to mind at the moment.
What's the penalty if they do that, Lisa? Jail?
There's no penalty. There's
I'm just
just,
wondering.
why do you want
Tricia.
to mix the two?
Trish Pergament, Deputy Supervisor. I think there is some kind of ethics policy in the personnel policy or in the administrative policies. I mean, could always look at tweaking that somehow to cover the concern. I don't know off the top of my head what it says.
Well, okay, I'm going to remain a no on this policy. I don't think that it's,
Okay.
I don't
I'm
like
going
the
to,
idea of money in government buildings being for sale or anything like that.
Mr. Anderson would like to.
I just wanted clarification. When I broached the subject of exterior and interior, we don't have a problem with that, right? The way it's written.
No, the way it's written, because
Right. No,
the
no, I'm fine.
naming of the John Doe building isn't going to happen because this.
Right.
Says no.
I'm fine with it. I just wanted to Trustee Smith, when she was saying that, I was trying to elaborate on that so that it knows that it's not the naming of the building, but it's just the actually donor.
Could be a dedication plaque for something or whatever the case may be. Okay.
But
I'm
how
good.
policies work are they're written, so it can be the intention of this board all day long, but unless it's written and in the policy, it doesn't matter. It needs to be written down.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion to approve the donor recognition policy as with one addition to Exhibit A, which is the addition of the Township Hall. And
I'll support that.
I have motion support. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries. Thank you. Request to approve fireworks permit Cedar Island Lake. Any questions, comments, Chief?
Recommend approval.
Justin's taking care of that. Good to go?
We went through both, and we
Okay.
would recommend approval of both E and F.
All right. I will make can I put them both in and wrap them up, or you want me to keep them separate?
I'm sorry,
I do them separate.
I'm still,
They're just
Really?
fireworks permits.
you should do them separate.
All right. I'm going to make a motion to approve the fireworks permit for Cedar Island Lake through Gen X Pyrotechnics.
Support.
I have motion support. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Ayes have it. I'm going to make a motion to request to approve fireworks permit for Pontiac Lake.
Support.
I have motion and support. All in favor? Aye. Done. Thank you. This is Mr. Roman, got your name written all over it.
Is this 9G?
NSF.
Yeah, so currently, when someone pays the township for whatever they're paying, whether it's a permit or a tax bill, we get a significant amount of checks that bounce. And our procedure, based on our policies and procedures, is to collect a fee for that. It's very difficult to collect. And there are communities out there now that they just add these NSF fees right onto someone's tax bill. And that way you know it's going to get collected. And so this is the idea of my deputy. She wanted permission from the board to actually put NSF fees onto the tax bills as special assessment.
If people don't take care of it, yeah. I mean, if they don't.
I think she's going to put them on immediately.
Oh, okay.
It was just, it's an easier process. So that's what I'm asking the board for permission for.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're
Go
good.
ahead.
Yeah, you're-
So I'm all in favor of being able to NSF fees. My question is this the exact amount of charge that we're going to bill the taxpayer from what we have, what we get from the bank, or is it something additional?
No, the banks are all different. I think it's our fee ordinance that has an NSF fee of, I believe, $25.
Okay. So that's what's going to be added on, no matter how.
Whatever our fee ordinance says.
So no matter what percentage or whatever the bill is, it's just going to be that bottom line fee.
That would be correct.
Okay. That's fine.
And how often does this happen, Mike?
We
Go back and
probably
look
get 100 NSFs a year.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's tracked in the, as far as all the tabulations and the bills that we get, it shows NSF fees in there. So you can go back and look right on the, right there to see exactly what it was and how much it is.
Yeah, the alternative would be to bring the police department into it and have them go after the people, but for $25, it's gonna cost us
More
more
to recover it.
to recover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to request to approve the addition to the administrative policies and procedures for non-sufficient funds NSF policy that's here before you tonight.
I have a motion. And I have support from, a motion from Mr. Noble, support from Mr. Ruggles. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Item H, first reading amendment to zoning ordinance 26001. Mr. O'Neill?
Thank you. As you may recall, back a couple of months ago, the Township Board had asked that while we're looking at housekeeping ordinance amendments, that we also take a look at the site plan review and approval process. So those are coming to you today in two separate parts at the direction of the Planning Commission. The first item on the agenda is for the first reading of the amendment to the zoning ordinance numbered 26-001, which deals with housekeeping items. So we'll dive into that one first. Really, when we do these housekeeping items, it's to correct either recently discovered conflicts or deficiencies or changes that arise from, I guess, constantly being asked about certain standards in the ordinance or seeing certain things appear regularly at the Zoning Board of Appeals. So we deal with allowing nursery schools and group adult child care centers in the Pontiac Lake Gateway District. That's one of the items. We deal with how an interpretation's made of setbacks for internal streetways. We are dealing with how we address substandard lots. The Zoning Board of Appeals, obviously, and Mr. Anderson, and actually Mr. Kowal and Mr. Ruggles, who've all served in the ZBA, can probably tell you that the vast majority of the requests at the ZBA are born from substandard lots, generally and largely around lakes. And so this kind of puts a different set of standards out there, which makes it a little bit easier for the ZBA and the applicant to navigate, and it deals with more of what is consistent with surrounding areas, and it allows for some reductions in side yard setbacks, but still keeping that bare minimum of 5 feet in place. Just provides a little bit more flexibility. We have kind of reformatted, and when I say we, it's David in our office who's really helping to streamline and reformat some of these ordinance sections so they're easier for the reader to interpret. So we've kind of reorganized the accessory building standards, and you can see a table on 5.7, that lays out in a very easy to digest format all the required standards for accessory structures, which I think it'll be better for the user. As we've been studying data center uses, noises have been a big issue, and while we're not prepared to discuss the specifics of that, it did come to light that some of our nighttime noise levels were very high, so we're trying to bring those down to a reasonable level, and you'll see that has been addressed. And obviously, we break out a caveat for routine maintenance, snow removal, things like that wouldn't be bound by. If you're out running your snow blower at 10 o'clock at night because that's when you get home and there's a foot of snow in your driveway, we're not going to send you a violation. You'll see some conflicts with driveway spacing. We had a table, there was some language written out, there was a table, and then there was a figure in the ordinance, and they were sort of in conflict. So we're trying to kind of, and we've worked with DLZ and both Mike and Lee Merrill over there to kind of figure out, which one should we keep, which one should we ditch? And he's saying ditch the driveway spacing figure that you'll see crossed out in 6.4.C.1. And then we deal with substandard lots again in Article 7. There's a section of our ordinance that says if you have a substandard lot, you may need to come in and get a variance just to be able to use it. And what we're saying here is no, if you can meet all the setback requirements, you can use your substandard lot. And again, many of those exist around the lakes. So it kind of takes that hurdle out of, building on a, old platted lot that might be 100 years old that just is, 60 feet rather than the minimum standard of 80. You don't have to come and get a variance, to build as long as you meet the setback requirements. So this is sort of the first half, I'll say, of the housekeeping items. There are quite a few more out there, but, sometimes when the list grows, you just got to start proceeding ahead. And it's, as you guys know, because you see and hear from us probably every 18 to 24 months on ordinance amendments, we try to keep them, very current and kind of address any needed issues rather than letting them linger. So that is what 26-001 entails. And if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. Planning Commission recommended approval after holding the required public hearing on June 4th, and they are ready for, again, your consideration first reading.
Okay.
Just real quick, on the top of page 167, I think it's supposed to be 26-001, not 01.
The title page, the cover page,
Yeah, 167.
I'm on a different, yeah.
It'd be the first.
Yeah,
page.
to be clear, these are it's 26-001.
Yeah, okay.
I don't expect we're going to get to three figures of, ordinance amendments this year. So probably safe just to go with -01, but, it is technically 001.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Thank you.
I just have a small question. So on section 4.22, nursery school that's redundant. What is a nursery school? If you're a child care center or an in-home or preschool, you're still a licensed child care center. So does nursery school mean something different in your world?
We're just trying to kind of cover everything. The ordinances aren't necessarily written to, I guess, categorize them based on whether or not there's licensure. It's just how it's defined in our ordinance. And, again, not all these terms are defined in our ordinance. So it's sort of all looked at and lumped together, daycare center, nursery school. I don't.
The same updated language would be a child care center, I think.
Yeah, nursery school is sort of like antiquated language, for sure, yeah. And that's something that, as we dive back into this, we could clean up a little bit later. And in fairness, there's plenty of language that uses, again, outdated terminology that isn't part of our current lexicon, and we usually try to retire that when we see it, but in this case, but I would agree, nursery schools no one uses that term anymore, but it's in here.
Yeah, daycare. Yeah.
Right.
Review it.
That's all. Okay. Anyone else? Looking for a motion?
Motion to move to second reading, amendment 2026-001.
Support.
That's motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next item.
Okay, the second part of this is the portion that deals with the site plan review and approval process. And again, that a couple of months ago started here, and we were directed to take this through the process. You will see all of the sections currently in our ordinance that deal with how a site plan moves through the process and who is the final word on it. The amendments before you have changed out Planning Commission for Township Board for final site plan. After the required public hearing, the Planning Commission recommended denial of these amendments and wish for it to remain as is. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
So we've been doing this for 20 some odd years, and this is the first problem we've had in 20 years.
To be, not to correct you, it's been 19 years.
Sorry.
But this is the first,
Yeah,
this is the first time this has come up where there has been a desire to go back into that direction, yes.
So we're going back into the 1900s now, in a sense, 1990s.
So, Sean, one of the things that, on the past administration down at Oakland County, we really strived as a township to become one-stop ready. This will basically put us backwards.
That came up at the planning commission meeting. Someone actually said we should contact Oakland County and tell them to take White Lake Township off of their website where it lists us as a one-stop ready community.
Yeah, 'cause it just encumbers the process.
Let me ask this, from the One Stop Ready, are we still doing training on One Stop Ready?
That program, I
Ended
don't
a long time
think
ago.
is, they acknowledge that there are communities that adhere to those kind of principles, but frankly, I
been
gotta
10
say,
years.
we were already kind of one-stop ready by the time we jumped in. We jumped in because it was something that we wanted to kind of further, kind of build some momentum toward. But we were, with the changes that happened in 2007, ahead of the One Stop Ready academies, which were in, maybe 2012 or something like that. We had already been doing that. We were already more one-stop ready for 5 years before that, but the county asked us to participate in it and support it. And so we did, and that's it, and all the boards and commissions attended. We signed a bunch of posters. There may have even been a resolution. I don't recall. It's been a long time, and I've got a lot of gray hair.
Yeah. So, okay. No, I was just wanted to say that because I was part of that, it didn't really impact us, because I think we sat down as a planning commission and said, well, what are they doing to get to One Stop Ready that we are not doing? And we were already doing it, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, well, but we'll be undoing it now. Okay, so that's the whole thing. Mr. Romo?
Yeah, so Sean, what's going on in Lyon Township with this data center? Why did your board approve final site plan for this data center? Or did your board not do it? Was it your planning commission?
I mean, I guess if you want to discuss Lyon Township, I will.
Yeah,
but,
if you don't mind, I'm using it as an example.
Yeah, generally, the township board in Lyon Township did not take action on the site plan for a data center.
Who did?
That was the planning commission.
Well, who's taking the heat for it, though?
If you've
I
got
gotta
all
say
night,
it's the board.
if you've got all night, I'll tell, yeah, actually,
It's the board.
both the board and the planning commission
So
are.
I think that is what we are looking to avoid. And so that's a big reason for, I believe, the push. The other thing is, it seems like a majority of this board didn't even realize that it was the planning commission that had final site plan approval. I always thought it was the board. So I'm in favor of it. I'm in favor of approving this amendment.
I like the old Oakland County, but anything attached to Oakland County with our CIA, Rick, we went through that. Run the other way when they're attached to it.
Well, that's different.
Higher taxes, CIA, we've had nothing but bad experiences with them. Oakland County.
Any more comment from the board for the moment? I do have some public comment.
So, I will not drag Mr. O'Neill into it and ask about his personal life. I didn't think that was okay, but I did make the point last time we talked about this that the board is the public figure of White Lake Township, and whether or not we make the decision, the arm of us, how I look at them, the arm is the planning commission, the ZBA, Parks and Rec. They function hopefully in concert to support this board. But reality is, when something happens within the township, we are the face of White Lake Township, and we are the ones that get the credit or the criticism at the same time. So I am in support of this for that reason, along with my other comments last time we talked about this. But it just is the truth. We are responsible for what happens. So I think it makes sense to take on that responsibility.
Okay, anyone else? Mr. Ruggles?
Yeah, I'd just say for the record that, I've been on the planning commission for quite a few years now, and I feel like the people that are on the board are dedicated, they show up, they do a good job, and they represent us well. And I'm fine with the way it is. I think that they take a lot of pride in what they do, and, I respect everybody's opinion on the board, and and that's fine, but I think it's fine the way it is.
Okay. Trustee Voorhees.
Yes, I agree with Liz and I agree with Scott, so thank you. I just know that I was elected by the people of White Lake to do the best decisions, not take us back to the 1990s, and not have one developer that wasn't happy have us change an ordinance for him, or them, sorry.
All right. anybody
I'm
else?
against this.
All right, Mr. Roman.
Motion to move.
yet. I have
Sorry?
I'd like to comment.
Oh, well, then why'd you call on me?
I thought you had a comment. Okay. You should have said, I'd like to make a motion, then I would have stalled you.
Yeah.
First of all, I have a call to the public right now because I saw some hands going up, so.
So I thought you were, maybe I was unclear. I thought you were going to make a comment.
I will.
Mary Early, 5925 Pine Ridge Court. Every month, the Township Board meeting agenda includes a consent agenda. This month, the consent agenda runs from page 3 to page 65. That was a third of the total agenda pages, 197, until the fire department furniture was added. And now it's a fourth of your agenda. Reading, scrutinizing, and comparing every page and every line item with the previous month's figures would be a daunting task for the board members. But every month, you unanimously approve the consent agenda. The likely reason is that you respect and trust the departments and staff who provide that information. I am asking that you respect and trust the recommendations provided to you by the Planning Commission members. Those members pore over applications, staff reports, DLZ and Carlisle Wortman reports, and multiple architectural designs. The Planning Commission hears the staff report, thoroughly discusses each item, listens to the applicant, questions the applicant, and provides a public hearing before having follow-up discussion. Only then do they make their recommendations to approve with conditions, or deny the applicant's project. Adding another layer of bureaucracy and red tape by making the final site plan at the township board meeting would only serve to delay the process and deter builders, contractors, and developers from doing business in White Lake. The Planning Commission has excellent members who provide thoughtful, educated decisions that are non-biased and free from special interests. The Planning Commission members deserve the same respect and trust that you do. Please approve the recommendation to deny the final site plan from the Planning Commission to the Township Board on 2026-002.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
I guess.
Okay. My comment is if something isn't broke, don't fix it. In this case, it was broke, we fixed it, and it's worked just fine for 20 years. There is a lot of information, and we generally see everything that comes through here. So this board has the ability to critique and look at different plans and send things back to the Planning Commission with recommendation for approval. Case in point, Planning Commission looked at the most recent Jack's Car Wash, and the board looked at that plan when it came through here, and the driveway entrance was problematic. And when we spoke to the applicant, this board expressed its opinion and its desire that that driveway be relocated to a safer location. And we were told it couldn't happen, this reason, that reason, the other reason. Lo and behold, the plan came back, the driveway was moved, this board approved that site plan. So this board does have those tools in the box. And allowing people that can spend more time on a plan, have a better understanding of that plan, and better understanding of land use and all the factors that are related to it, to offer a recommendation to this board to act in one direction or another. The board still has the ability to amend and correct, as we did with the Jack's Car Wash. Unfortunately, they decided not to come to town, but nonetheless, that's a perfect example of how we do have the authority and the power to make those revisions and call out any deficiencies that we see in a drawing. So we have the authority, and I just think that if things get a little bit busy and we'll be spending a lot more time doing plan reviews here than we will be doing conducting township business in the proper manner. I agree with Mrs. Early. That's why we have people in these places, and it's done the job well. Why, after all this time, all of a sudden it becomes a problem? It's very suspicious and very interesting. So I will not support this change, and I think that it is a step going backwards. So.
Somebody second it?
What?
Yeah, motion.
No, I was going to just go ahead and say, being on the planning commission for 18 years, I understand the whole process. There's always an opportunity for the planning commission to make a recommendation or for final approval. So I don't think that changing that is going to delay the process. It's not, it's just going up the trail and say, we looking at that, is this a recommendation or final approval? That's all I need to say.
Mr. O'Neill, what's your thought process on that and the process itself and how it's going to change?
The additional, if this does change, it will add a meeting that does not happen now. And, depending on how that date falls, it would probably add a month to the process, on average, depending on when the planning commission date would fall.
I'm trying to understand that. If they're making a recommendation that they want the board to have final approval, and then we review that, how is that going to change? How is that going to delay it a month? Help me through that process.
I will. So the planning commission now doesn't make a recommendation on final. As you know, they make final decisions, and then it's over with. It doesn't come back here.
Right.
If you change this, which they're not asking you not to change, but if you change this, then it has to wait until it gets to the next township board agenda for final approval to happen. You're adding a step at final. You're adding 2 final site plan approval steps when only one exists now. And so what I'm saying is, in answer to the supervisor's question, is they now have to make, after final site plan approval at the planning commission, because it's a recommendation if this changes, they have to make it to the next township board meeting, which could take 2 weeks, it could take 30 days, depending on when the planning commission, whether it's their first or second meeting. If on June 4th, they would have recommended final site plan, then they would be here today 2 weeks later. If on Thursday they recommend final site plan approval, well, they're going to wait a month until you guys meet again in July, or in that case, 33 days.
Okay.
So it will roughly add 30 days to the average site plan by
providing the planning commission meets that month. You have had situation where planning commission does not meet. So wait, let me just say this. This is what we're talking about, 30 days. Planning commission doesn't have a meeting, so whatever that applicant wanted to go ahead and present to the planning commission then has to wait a longer period of time.
We only cancel planning commission meetings when there are no agenda items.
Right.
So there is never going to be a scenario that you just described. It has never happened, and it will never happen. Because if someone is ready to go to the planning commission and they want to go to the planning commission, whether there's a recommendation from staff for approval or not, we never tell them they can't go. So they could have the worst site plan we've ever seen, and they say, I want to go to the planning commission. We will get them on the next agenda, and then the planning commission can tell them it's the worst site plan they've ever seen, along with the staff. So there has never been and will never be a scenario where there isn't a planning commission meeting that's held when there's a project that can qualify or has asked to go to the planning commission.
Okay. And so if the planning commission goes ahead and says they approve the final site plan, and it comes up to us for a recommendation, and we say, okay, fine, No, I'm just saying if
You're
this changes.
confusing me because you said they made final site plan and then it came here for recommendation. It would
Well,
be the
no, they
opposite.
make a recommendation for the final site plan.
Right.
Okay, so the board goes ahead and approves that, then where does it go after that?
Then we go through construction drawings, which used to be done by the board and is still done administratively now, that you're not asking to change that. So then the staff, as well as the consultants, look at the final construction plans, which is kind of an addendum to the site plan. So you guys look at the site plan, the elevations, the layout, and then primarily the two reviewing parties of the construction drawings are the fire department for apparatus access and engineering for, putting all the final touches on the design for utilities, stormwater, things like that. And then we have a pre-construction meeting. So that is sort of dependent. Some projects do them, lots of them do them concurrently. So when you're seeing the final site plan, at the same time, final site plan's coming through, the construction drawings are also going through the process at DLZ and at the fire department. But that's an elective decision. They don't have to do it. They can wait until they get final site plan approval and then begin that. Though I would say, Mike, and maybe you would disagree, I think at the time of final site plan, you probably 80 or 90% of the engineering really has to be done in order to get final site plan approval because we got a pretty high bar. We want a lot of details. So there's really just a very few, would you say 15% of it still hasn't maybe been done at the time of final site plan?
Yeah, project specific, but most of the details are there because you need that for the layout. To be confident in the layout, it's not going to change.
Right, and clearly permitting hasn't happened at the time of final site plan approval and cannot happen until we have a final design. So that's what happens when the planning commission currently is done with final site plan and approves it, or if the change happens tonight, when the board would be done with final site plan and approves it.
Mike, not to bother you, but can you come up and state your name?
Mike Lefkin with DLZ. Yeah, Sean's right. The plans at final site plan have the majority of details that they'll need. But yes, we go to an administrative step after final site plan typically, just to make sure we dot all the i's, cross all the t's. It's things like storm sewer slope, pipe sizing, things that aren't going to affect the sites dimensionally, but they have an impact on the overall performance of the site, so.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Mr. Roman.
So just the word sufficiently. Okay, so if you can all turn to page 183 on this ordinance amendment. Under Part 2, letter I, where it reads, the applicant has submitted the required information, and it is that word in?
Yeah.
In sufficiently. So we want to remove the word sufficiently.
Can you pause for 1 second?
Yeah.
I don't think we have what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah.
I might have a different page.
What page?
So
I
my
show
hard
it, I
copies.
show it as 181 in the,
180, it says 183.
on the-
Okay, it must be different on the computer.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can find it. Mike, and I apologize. We made this correction, and I don't know how this version ended up back in the packet, because you and I talked about this. It was corrected.
It was corrected, I saw it.
It was, and then something got swapped out today that cleaned up some of the parts. So we can clean this up for second reading, certainly. But yeah.
Okay.
The word insufficiently should say in space sufficiently.
Yeah, we
There should
cleaned
be
it
a
up.
space in,
Sean,
or we
you did clean it up. I
we
saw
did.
it.
I don't know what
I think
happened.
even better, just take out the word sufficiently.
In
So it'll just
paragraph
read,
two?
and it is complete and understandable.
Or it is in complete and understandable form.
Okay, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah. But you said take sufficiently off of and leave in. Yeah, we can do that. And I apologize. I don't know what happened, but it was corrected and then it went back.
Yeah, mine says 183.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You want,
there.
I can go to it in the packet if everybody
Just tell
wants
me
to
what,
see it.
What page?
what page is it in the packet?
183 on the.
183.
I know.
On the packet, on the agenda item.
Right, but if you were
181,
just
I'm
clicking
sorry.
on the actual,
Great, Steve.
Sorry, Lisa.
just tell me what section it is.
I, letter I.
Part 2.
you just go to part two.
Oh, yep.
We break them out in parts so we can get,
Insufficiently.
it's right here on the page, and under part two, Article 6.0.
Okay, part one, part two. Okay, which is page 7.
Right there, that insufficient, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, okay.
Well, then with that, I would make a motion to move zoning amendment 2026-002 to second reading.
A motion?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Somebody else.
Roll call vote?
Trustee Voorhees.
No.
Treasurer Roman.
Yes.
Supervisor Kowal.
No.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles.
No.
Clerk Noble, yes. Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome to the 1990s.
It's not the 19th.
Next item, request to approve rezoning of 9391. Denied.
Townships would be doing it. Is he here?
Yeah, he's right there. All yours, Sean.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Brendel, well, I don't know why this is happening, but, okay, well, I can't project this so easily. So, before you tonight is a unique request in that most people don't come in asking to downzone property. They usually want to intensify and therefore generally raise the level of interest in, developing the, property they own most intensively. So when I spoke with Mr. Brendel a couple months ago, he had mentioned a desire to rezone the 11.6 acres that he currently owns and has been zoned PB for probably close to 25 years now, because as we all know, you can't get PB or PD zoning without a site plan. But this predated the 2003 amendment that made that a requirement. So Mr. Brendel has had this piece of property on the south side of M59 and it addressed as 9391 Highland for a number of years and has expressed a desire to sell off a piece of this piece of property. You'll see here on the screen property that's 1 acre in size with about 125 feet of frontage, which is a requirement of the ordinance. That's kind of what's driving this request. He's going to parcel this out and sell it off as local business. So he's requesting approval of zone, and this is for first reading tonight, to rezone this property from PB planned business to local business. So it's, again, a significant down zone, not something that we heard any objection from any residents on during the public hearing, and something that the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of. So tonight, again, before you was a request to rezone the aforementioned property from planned business to local business. And again, this is first reading.
Mr. Ruggles?
If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
No. So the planning commission saw this. I mean, really nobody was opposed to it. He's going, like Sean said, basically a little bit backwards for a purpose. So, I mean, I don't have an issue with it at all. If you'd like a motion, I can make one for you.
I would entertain a motion.
I would make a motion to approve this is first reading, right?
Correct.
That's correct.
Approve the first reading of the rezoning request on 9391 Highland Road, PB to LB.
I'll second that.
Motion support, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Enjoy Florida. Okay. Request to approve transfer between revolving funds. Mr. Roman is not here momentarily. Okay. Request to approve fire department furniture, NBS steel case. Yes. Wait a minute. I hear a door.
Just go with it.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. All right. You're holding us up, Mike.
Oh, go ahead without me.
I can't. It's your item.
Which item we on?
Transfer.
Oh, yeah, we need money. If you guys want to finish these buildings, I need more money.
All yours, Mike.
Yeah, so the game plan all along was, once construction funds from our loan was used up, we would transfer money from the improvement revolving fund. The township's done a great job saving. We're almost out of construction funds, and so I'm just going to ask that I have the
I would reword that.
the ability to to transfer any and all improvement revolving funds to the construction fund to complete the construction
I
process.
mean, you're almost out of bond funds, is what you meant to say.
What did I say?
Your construction money.
Construction money.
Well,
We're out of construction money. We're
Well,
out of,
construction fund money,
out of bond.
bond money, bond money.
That's, I didn't want to panic the public, okay, so.
Yeah, put that in the form of a motion.
I will support that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item, request to approve fire department furniture NBS steel case. We have before us the expenditure of $78,973.68, which was under your original budget, which is good, okay? And my understanding, these things are in process, so to speak, so we needed to move forward with it.
Yes.
And this is already in an allocation that was approved by this board. So this is just approving this particular invoice because it's so large. Anything to add, Mr. Roman?
Nope.
Okay,
I had a question.
yes.
For my 14 years as far as in the furniture industry and knowing that this is one of my dealers as far as for Steelcase, do you know what the discount off list was for this?
I know it was the same township-wide. It's the vendors providing it across.
So I never did know what the discount off list was. Can anybody tell me what that is?
Trish had it figured out, so.
I'm sorry, pardon?
Trish has that information.
Okay, could you ask her to provide that for me?
I will get that for you.
For those people that don't understand, furniture is sold at 100% as far as lists. And the discount structure is based on a discount off list, and that's how much you pay. So I never did know what the discount off list was, so I'd like to be able to know that.
Okay.
Can you give us an example?
Well, so for example, say if a chair was $100.
Okay.
And then the discount off list was 47%. Then you would pay, what, $53?
Got it.
For the chair.
Interesting.
Okay. All right, any other questions? I move to approve the expenditure of $78,973.68 for the NBS furniture for the fire department. Looking for support?
Support.
I have motion, I have support. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Civic Center update, Mr. Roman, what are you gonna tell us?
Well, Clerk Noble and I took a drive through there today, and most of the brick now is on the back of the township hall, and it looks great. The roof is almost all on. I think one of the peaks is still waiting for roof. And I haven't been in there in a couple weeks. I'll be in there tomorrow.
I'll catch up on that. I've been there.
Tomorrow, yeah, so go ahead and take over,
Yeah.
Rick.
So significant amount of the mechanical is completed in the township hall, and drywall has started to be placed in the lower level, and will soon be placed, and there's some of it placed already on the first floor. They're just waiting for a couple more inspections, I think, and that will get that going. We'll be in really good shape on the township hall soon. And to your point, correct, there are some roof panels that are still missing, that the porte-cochere and the overall gallery roof when you first walk in the building still needs to be done. There's a question of some fire suppression that needs to be clarified on a couple different things. Just technical stuff needs to be worked out. And that's moving forward. And the public safety building is probably about 75%, 80% drywalled. And actually, some of the areas are actually in paint in the higher bays. Actually, light fixtures are actually hung and wrapped with visqueen to keep all the dust out of them. So they are moving along quickly. And like Mr. Roman says, a significant amount of the brick is up, looks really good. The glass framework is going in. The glazers were out there again today, setting up more metal frames. And once all the frames are completely set, then the glass is actually ordered to that particular opening size. So that's all moving forward. So there'll be a lot more to see in the weeks to come. And yes, Mr.
I think late next week we go on permanent power too
Yes.
from DTE.
Yes,
Isn't
yeah.
that the
Next week
25th is
we'll be
sticking
off
out
the
in my mind?
umbilical cord and be on the meter. So So that will. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to that, Bill. So that's going to be a huge improvement, and that will make a definite difference in how everything goes. So we are moving in the right direction, there's no question about it. Site work will also can start back up here sometime in mid-July. The balance of the paving will be done, and the top coat will come in, and that will be, put the finish coat on the entire parking lot as it's done. And then Stanley Park is this far from being open to automotive traffic. There's still a few little things down there, erosion things, and a couple of little cleanup things that need to get handled. We're hoping to get a little bit of an update on that tomorrow. So it is moving forward. Moving on to trustee comments. Stephen?
No, me first?
Yeah, you first.
Okay, well, just want to say that ZBA, we had 5 proposals for ZBA. 4 of them were approved. Denial was on one aspect as far as non-compliance. And it's a lot of details about that proposal. If anybody has any questions, they can be able to read that. Anthony Noble and I represented our township at the ribbon cutting of the new Genesis dealership, La Fontaine. It's very, very high-class dealership. The other thing is that I want to shout out to our police department for having a great, excellent police open house. And also to our wonderful new chief for being nice enough to get into the dunk tank to excite other people to throw a softball at him so he could go ahead and suck up some water. So thanks, chief. And for all fairness, I hope everyone will enjoy the upcoming July 4th holiday. Be safe on the road and also on the water. And thank you all for your participation.
Mr. Roman?
Like, as always, want to thank the residents that tuned in, and Mr. and Mrs. Early, thanks for coming out, as always. Want to congratulate Sergeant Kittle and Officer Zimmerman. Congratulations on your promotions, and congratulations for joining the police department. Chief, thanks for hitting the dunk tank. I took a couple shots at you and missed you. I gave my last ball to Clerk Noble. He wasn't even looking at the target, and he nailed it. So,
Very talented.
good for you. Good for you, Clerk Noble.
It was the best place to be during that heat.
Strictly luck, I never played baseball, Mike.
There you go.
Like you and Sean.
Trustee Smith?
Let me just hit the button. I just got to dunk them. So I do want to thank you for a very successful police open house, and I appreciate your willingness to connect with the community. And I was very impressed with you that you got into the dunk tank. I think you're the first chief to do so. Normally they send in the rookies. So it was a great success. No, are you not the first one? Well, I appreciate you anyways going in because it was great and the kids were having a lot of fun and we also had fun dunking you, so it was fun. The turnout was great. It was a beautiful day. I appreciate the fire department also there supporting you. I like to see that camaraderie there. And I want to talk a little bit just about the inside of the township hall. I think we had what we hope to be our second to last meeting, wrapping things up, and we were just we met last week, the design committee inside, sharpening our pencils, trying to cut some costs, and we hope to hear from them soon where we can present our inside package to this board, cross our fingers, next month, is what our goal is. And then lastly, the summer reading program has kicked off at the library. That's for all ages 0 to 100, so I invite you to join that, and they're fun programs throughout the summer, and then they always have that great party in August to wrap that up. And be safe 4th of July, happy 4th of July, and it's a great celebration. 250 years is a big deal, so that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ruggles?
Yeah, thank you. The planning commission on the 18th has been canceled, so we won't be meeting on Thursday. I don't have a whole lot else to add except for a good job, chief.
Thank you.
That's a fancy nameplate you got there. I like that.
I did not order that.
Good?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Noble.
Just like to thank the chief for a very well-attended, nice open house and being in the dunk tank the whole time. We did not order that, only a fire chief and a fireman would, so we'll get you a real one coming up. So, nice job, chief. Little bantering back and forth. I'd like to thank, we had our audit, pre-audit at the last steps of it today with Plant Moran. I'd like to thank Don Yomar and staff for working on that. And Yomar is our new finance director. He did an excellent job for being his first audit. So we made a lot of good comments today.
Yep, went well. Andrea.
I had the honor of going to a really awesome library program where Mary Moore, she was a member of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. She's a White Lake resident. She's been here for 65 years, 93, 94 years old. Very impressive. We should always be, in a sense, she's like a hidden gem as far as I'm concerned in White Lake. She should be honored more often. We've done it at a previous board meeting, but a hidden gem that I could listen to for another hour.
Andrea, you mean like A League of Their Own, the movie?
Yeah, The League of Their Own, yep. Yeah. I don't remember the year she was there, but very.
Knocked on her door.
Yeah, very interesting. She wasn't a big fan of Madonna, which disappoints me because Madonna's a Michigan woman also, but whatever. And then at my Parks and Rec meeting last week, I'm stealing one of my comments from one of my commissioners. His comment was that his father-in-law works for Homeland Security, and he is working the water main break in Auburn Hills. And at his location on Brown Road, he made a point of telling his son-in-law that the CERT folks from White Lake Township were always there, were hardworking. They were friendly, honest, and easy to work with. So thank you for getting the CERT program going, White Lake Police Department. I thought they needed additional kudos other than our quiet Parks and Rec meeting.
Right, well, that's part of our community interaction that we have, and that's why we're there to help each other, that's for sure. Okay, first of all, again, thanks everybody for being here early, thank you. Michael, thanks for showing up. I haven't seen you in a while. Almost forgot who you were, okay? So it's good to see you, okay? Couple different things. Yes, the open house was successful. Looking forward to next year where some different things are going to happen with the public safety building at that. They're conjuring a few ideas, so we'll see what comes down the pipe. And in general, the township will probably have a general open house next year, in particular with the new building, so that the public can see a little bit of everything all at one time. It'll be a great opportunity for things to happen. Rock Farm is Friday, June 26th. It's free concert here at Fisk Farm. Everybody should come. It's a lot of fun. You can sit down there and have a beverage in the grass and watch the band play. And it's a yacht rock band, it's called. I'm not 100% sure of what all that music is about, but I'm sure it'll be good. And it was fun last time. Fire department will be selling hot dogs there. Benefit their organization, and White Lake Police Foundation will be there selling the beverages, so benefiting their organization. Firework dates, 6/26 at Cedar Island, 6/27 on White Lake, and 7/2 on Pontiac Lake. So get out there and get your eye candy. It's a cool thing to watch all that going on, and we appreciate that. And the next big event that's going to shake the lake is going to be Quake on the Lake, which is going to be August 15th and 16th. Keep your eye open on the internet and on flyers. And it's the first time back after 10 years. And the whole idea is to get people outside and enjoy what great things Michigan has to offer and have the opportunity to observe and listen to a really, really cool sport that's been absent for a number of years. And the White Lake Police Foundation will have a presence there in the hospitality tent. You'll be able to purchase an armband for premium seating and get yourself a beverage while you're there. So it would be good to have you there. Other than that, things are running hot, straight, and normal here in White Lake Township. And I certainly appreciate everyone that participates in this group. Lisa, also appreciate you. What's your countdown now for the bar?
3 months.
3 months. 3 months, and we'll get our attorney back, hopefully.
How many days? How many days?
And just have months counted.
Yeah, so it's all good. For those that don't know, Lisa was appointed elected, excuse me. Go on.
President of the State Bar of Michigan.
There you go. Now that's an honor.
47,000 strong.
47,000 lawyers, ambulance chasers, lawyers out there strong. Okay, so it's all good. So it just goes to show you the level of representation that we're lucky to have here at the township and the input that we get. Right, wrong, or indifferent as it is sometimes, but whatever the case may be, we still appreciate everything she does. So I say to all of you out there, thank you for all being here. Thank you for tuning in. Good night. God bless. Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion support, adjourned.